Hi there, I'm Karen Marie, and this is Psyched Up for Sunday, September 19th, 2021. So, I'm going to talk about the transits for the week, and then I'm going to do mini readings for all 12 signs. And this is for your sun sign, moon sign, rising, and if you have a stellium, which is three or more planets in a sign. So, make sure you check out all those. I'll be putting the timestamps below this video for those. And I'm going to start with Pisces and go backwards this time because the moon's in Pisces and we'll have a full moon in Pisces tomorrow. So I'm going to start with the Pisces this time. So I also want to let you know that I have started to put out 1-minute videos every day on both my Instagram page, which is Karen Marie Psychic, and my Facebook pages, my personal page, as well as my professional page. My professional page is Psyched Up. So make sure you check those out. I'm posting those every day. So, and I appreciate those of you who watch these videos and share them with your friends and like them and make comments. So I love my clients. I can't say enough about you guys. And I appreciate all those that reached out to me and this last week because I was sick with poison ivy in a horrible way. I'm such a sensitive, and I got poison ivy digging up weeds in my garden. Didn't even see the stuff. I'm usually really watching out for it, but I got it bad. I got it systemically. It affected me emotionally as well as just hives and rash and breaks out and little fever and ugh. Anyway, but I'm all better now. So I'm back with you guys this week. So I'm going to share my screen here where I have the full moon is what I've pulled up here. And I've done this a little bit different than what I've been doing in the past. Instead of just looking at the transits around the edge of a particular chart, I've just drawn the chart for the full moon, which will be tomorrow, Monday, September 20th. It'll be 6:55 p.m. here in Austin, Texas. So make your time change if you're at different places around the world. That's Central Standard Time, if you don't know. So today we have the sun at 27 degrees. Tomorrow with the full moon, it'll be at 28 degrees and the moon will be at 28 degrees. So a full moon is when the sun is opposite the moon. And what is extra interesting about this particular full moon is it's at 28 degrees. So the very last degree of the whole zodiac is 29 degrees of Pisces, right? So it's going to be at 28 degrees of Pisces. So this is the last sign of the zodiac at the second to the last degree. So this is a wrapping up, a culmination, a bringing to fruition, an ending. Full moons illuminate, right? They bring out intuitive abilities in a very strong way. The moon will be crossing over Neptune tomorrow before the full moon. So it's going to be a super psychic day. I've already been feeling this full moon for a couple days. We can feel full moons like way ahead of time and way after. It's not just the event itself that can be intensive. Like I can really see people's emotions just going wonky over the last couple of days out in the road. It's been harrowing. I don't know if you've experienced something similar, but you're not cray cray. If you are, it's been super, super intensive. So Pisces, in addition to being the very last sign of the zodiac, is a very spiritual sign. It's also very psychic. So when we have Neptune's already been in Pisces, right, for a while, we've been feeling it, and Neptune's retrograde right now. So Neptune on a positive end is a psychic radar. It is where we can download, receive psychic intuitive messages from spirit guides, from other people. It's heightened intuition. It's also spiritual connection, connection with the divine. You may have felt very called into spiritual practices while Neptune has been in Pisces, right? It's been there for a while. And the moon and Neptune are the two most psychic planets that we have. So when they get together, it just super intensifies intuitive psychic abilities. The fact that they're both here in Pisces adds extra oomph to it as well. Now, Neptune on the downside is illusion, delusion, fuzzy thinking, not being able to see clearly, getting caught up in addiction, conspiracy theories, things that don't make sense, delusional ideas of all kinds, right? So it really has to do with where are you at. If you're plugged in spiritually, if you've been doing spiritual practices, connecting with your higher self, connecting with your intuition, which I believe everyone has, then you're going to be drawing the positive ends of this sign out. If you are not spending time trying to connect with your spiritual self, you're spiritually anorexic, you can be off in your ego, you can off in your head, you can be like hard to get clear, you can be super fuzzy, and the moon's going to illuminate all that, right? So the moon's going to bring out the best of you, or it can bring out the worst, right? And again, full moons are about endings, closures, which also then initiate new beginnings, right? We close something up, we begin something new. So this can be an extra sensitive moon because it's in this sensitive sign, right? So I feel like it's a releasing, a finishing up of things we've been working on like all year long. So I feel like, and then we also this week on Wednesday, the 22nd, the sun will be moving into Libra at 2:22 p.m. That's the equinox. And so the sun will be moving into this new sign here and getting super close. It's already conjunct Mars. It's going to be super conjunct Mars and moving into the sign of Libra, which is about justice, fairness, relationships, thinking about others, right? So it can, this full moon in Pisces here, the sun will be at the last degrees of Virgo, which is wrapping up the lessons that it's been teaching us as the sun has moved through Virgo. Virgo represents our, well, it's ruled by Mercury, so it can be a lot of our thinking. Virgo is about attention to health. It's about attention to details. It's about getting things organized, communicating with others. So there may be some powerful conversations that have been happening already that will continue to happen. When the sun moves into Libra, then it kicks off a whole new phase, a whole new lesson, teachings around relationships, justice, and fairness. Those are the highlighted areas. So what else do we have going on in the skies right now? So Jupiter is retrograde, Neptune's retrograde, Jupiter's retrograde, Saturn's retrograde, and Pluto is retrograde. Mercury is in its shadow period. What does that mean? It's at 23 degrees. Shadow period means it is about to go retrograde. It goes retrograde on the 27th, which is a week from tomorrow, and it will be at 25 degrees. So it'll just travel 2 more degrees here, and then it turns backwards. It'll go all the way back to 10 degrees. It'll go direct again on October 18th. It'll start heading back this way. So what it's doing now is in its shadow period. Since it hit 10 degrees, it's been in shadow. So it may have already felt like Mercury's been retrograde. No, it hasn't happened yet. I think this is going to be a super wiggy, super intensive retrograde period. And particularly for relationships, it can really be, it's already been sort of showing you what's going to be worked on while Mercury goes retrograde. Like since it's been at 10 degrees, it's been like, all right, this is what we're going to be going over. Here's the lessons. Let me give you the preview of coming attractions. Stops, goes backwards. Let's go back over all this. And classic Mercury retrograde is communication. Mercury is the planet of communication. So your communications with others can be effed up. So that's like what you say with people. People can misunderstand you. You can send texts that don't get received, or again, people can't read them correctly, or emails that don't get sent, or miscommunication in that way, letters that get lost in the mail. Anything that how we communicate with others can be extra trying, and it's in the sign of others, Libra. So it's going to be really emphasizing communication. It's also representing travel, short-term travel anyway, our cars, how we get to and from things, right? So any kind of transportation, planes, trains, automobiles, bicycles. Be careful in your vehicle. Be careful planning trips. It's not technically a good time to be signing contracts or planning. Or, you can plan trips, but taking them, just be extra cautious or careful. Allow for delays if you're taking a trip when Mercury is retrograde. Again, this is a week away, but we're already feeling it. Um, I've been feeling this for a while. People have been asking me all year, is Mercury retrograde? Well, part of the reason it feels like it's retrograde is because we have the North Node in Gemini right now. And so right now it's at 4 degrees. By tomorrow, it's going to go to 3 degrees. The nodes move backwards. So the nodes take about a year and a half to move through a sign. So they're almost at the end here. North Node is in Gemini, representing, again, Gemini is ruled by Mercury, just like Virgo is. So communication issues. Also, Mercury rules the media. And so Gemini, as the node has been moving through Gemini for the last year and a half, it'll move into Taurus in mid-January, and we'll start a whole new theme for the next year and a half of North Node in Taurus and South Node in Scorpio. Right now, the South Node is in Sag. So the South Node is what we're releasing, what we're letting go of. It's about belief systems here in Sagittarius too, letting go of old beliefs. And in the North Node is like adopting new ways of thinking. That would be the best use of this sign. But since the North Node here has been in Gemini, it's kind of felt Mercury retrograde for the last year and a half. Think about this last election. It was the most polarized election that I can remember in my lifetime. This is Gemini, the twins, right? Jekyll, Hyde, opposite polar sides, right? So I, for one, am ready for the nodes to shift. I'll be ready when mid-January comes and we move into a whole different theme. So I'll talk more about that before we get up to it. But that may be why you've been feeling this Mercury retrograde energy already, right? And also since Mercury has been in its shadow zone, we've been feeling the foreshadowings of this Mercury retrograde. So it's happening a week away. We can often start feeling the transits before they happen. If you're super tuned into your psychic abilities, I almost always feel transits ahead of time rather than when they're actually happening. I start feeling it beforehand. Like I was feeling this full moon a couple days ago already. So you may be feeling these same things. Oh, I feel that before it even happens. Yep. So again, it's already rolled out. It's already been rolling out. Mercury's already been rolling out what you need to be working on. So it'll just intensify when it stops to go retrograde next week. Okay, we've got Venus in Scorpio. Right now it's at 10 degrees. By tomorrow, by the full moon, it'll be 11. So Venus in Scorpio. Do you know any Scorpio people? They can be super psychic, super intensive, right? That stinger comes out, I know people that are afraid of Scorpios. They're afraid of that stinger coming out. Scorpios, the deep, dark waters. So when you have Venus in Scorpio, it can be an extra emphasis on passion, on sexuality. Like Scorpio is ruled by Pluto. Pluto is death and transformation. So as Venus is moving through Scorpio, we may definitely feel this transformative energy in our relationships. I really feel like this full moon is heralding the end of some relationships, beginnings of other ones, right? That's what I'm really feeling with this the sun here on the cusp of the end of Virgo, about to move into Libra, and Venus here in Scorpio. It's all about your relationships. A whole lot of it is, and all kinds of relationships. But Venus and Scorpio, it's about your passionate ones, right? And feeling passionately about your friends and coworkers, or passionately negatively, right? So there's some intensity there going on with Venus and Scorpio. And Vesta's here in Scorpio too. Vesta is an asteroid. in ancient Rome, they selected a virgin to guard the sacred flame, right? And so I see Vesta in the chart as where in the birth chart, it's where you sacrificed yourself in past lives and where you have a tendency to sacrifice yourself in this lifetime. So right now it's at 0 degrees of Scorpio. 0 is about holding the boundaries for, or by the full moon it will be. So this is like a super, and Scorpio is about setting boundaries anyway. So here we go. How do you set boundaries? Are you setting boundaries well in your relationships? Do you sacrifice yourself in your relationships? Venus here and Vesta here is really highlighting how do you receive energy. Venus is about how you receive things too. And Vesta, like I said, is how you sacrifice yourself. So do you sacrifice yourself for others? I feel like we're getting a test here, all of us here with Vesta at 0 degrees of Scorpio. Let's see what else. Pluto at 24 degrees of Capricorn. Pluto will go direct in October. So will Jupiter and Saturn. I think they all go direct in October. October is going to be a powerful month. We'll have Mercury retrograde until the 18th. And I believe that Jupiter also turns direct the same day Mercury turns direct. And then we'll have Pluto and Saturn turning direct before that. And again, I'll talk about those before that happens. But so it's going to be sort of all systems go and moving forward by the end of October in particular. So October should be like a really great month is what I'm foreshadowing, foreseeing, feeling coming on. It can be super intensive with all this Neptune and the moon energy in Pisces. Your dreams may have been extra vivid. You may be having downloads of special dreaming. The moon will be moving into Aries right after the full moon. It'll be moving into Aries for, later Monday evening and then into Tuesday. The moon will move into Taurus by Thursday. So when moon moves through Aries, we can feel more impulsive, more social, passionate about things. As the moon moves into Taurus, there can be an emphasis on creativity and wanting to get ground in the earth. And so there's some lovely energy with the moon moving through these. The moon will cross over Uranus, which is at 14 degrees on Friday. So this is Uranus in the chart is the great awakener. It's the ruler of Aquarius. So if you know any Aquarians, you usually can't predict what way they're going to move or what they're going to do next. They think outside the box. Their circle of friends is eclectic. So Uranus likes to shake things up. It throws curveballs. It can bring in sudden unexpected things on a positive and a negative scale. I've talked at length in many videos about the fact that it's in Taurus, has been shaking up literally the earth. Taurus represents the earth as well. So the moon going over Uranus on Friday, we could have, some more, earthquakes, floods, tornadoes, fires, more of these surprising earth events that we've been experiencing for the last 3 years that Uranus has been here in Taurus. So when the moon goes over Uranus on Friday, and again, we can feel things before and after, it can be a super powerful, intensive day. You can have breakthroughs as well, like positive things can come through and be exciting, but it can be disconcerting as well. The good thing about Uranus is it always, if it knocks things down or takes something away, it replaces it with something even better. So that's the good news about Uranus. We've got Jupiter here at 23 degrees of Aquarius. Jupiter expands things. Aquarius is the double vibe, is how we all vibe together. Aquarius is about humanity. So there's been a huge focus on humanity as Jupiter has been in Aquarius. Saturn is there as well. Saturn is our stop sign in the zodiac. It's where we set boundaries, how we form things, how we keep things together. And so there's a strong energy around how we all going to vibe and work together to make this work on this planet right now. Pluto in Capricorn in the latter degrees is about transforming. Pluto is death and transformation. In Capricorn, it's the male patriarchal world is how I see what this is going on. And so it tests things, like it'll be exactly conjunct the United States Pluto, which is at 27 degrees by February, which I'm expecting some major earth shadowing, just major changes in America happening when we're having our exact Pluto return. We've all already been having some major changing things up, right? So hopefully we'll be bringing out the rebirth side of things. But there can be major deaths, and just think this, since we've had this conjunction, there's been so many deaths, right, through COVID, but even other sudden unexpected things are happening with people just crossing. It just feels like there's a mass exodus on the planet right now, particularly here in the United States. So I think that's just going to intensify as Pluto gets closer to where the United States Pluto is. At any rate, it is transforming this old paradigm, the old good old boys network, the towers of Babel that have been built by the white men with all the money. So it's changing that paradigm. When Pluto finally goes into Aquarius, it's going to be changing up the paradigm of all humanity. That's where the power is going to be. The power. Pluto can also be another word for power, for control. So Pluto right now is square Eris, right? Eris, in the traditional Greek scene, was not invited to an important wedding that all the other gods and goddesses were at, and she was not having it. She showed up at the wedding and just created mayhem. Eris is about protesting. It's about standing up for your rights. She was on the front lines with her brother Aries, and was just ferocious in battle. So this square, we had it started last year. Right now it's like exact right now. So more protesting of power, and like who's got the power, protesting power and control issues, protesting, standing up for rights, right? So there's more of that energy going on. So we got the full moon and then this square off, which, like I said, it's been happening since last year. There were so many protests, like the Black Lives Matter, right, just erupted last year with this square off of Eris and Pluto, and it's still squaring off. It'll be there for a while. So that brings in a volatile energy as a backdrop. We also have Uranus squaring Saturn. Right now it's in a wider orb, so we're feeling it, but shaking things up, how we form things, our structure, how we build things, how we say no. So it will be another exact square coming up in December, right before Christmas. So right now it's a looser square, but it's still squared. It's been squared all year long. So that's another backdrop. Sudden unexpected things challenging the social order, how we form things, how we've put things together in our lives. So we've all had to change things up significantly, right, over these last couple of years. This is part of the reason here. We've got Chiron here at 11 degrees. This is healing. It's also retrograde. Chiron is a healer. Its glyph looks like a key. In your birth chart, Chiron shows up where you had wounding in your childhood. It's a carryover from wounding in past lives. It's a place where we have karma, right? Karma is where we've done the same thing over and over and over again. Karma is a collection of all your causes that you've set, positive and negative. So karma is not good or bad. It's just like your bank account, right? It's the accumulation of the causes you have set over many, many lifetimes, right? collectively, the transiting Chiron is what we're all working on healing on this planet. The glyph looks like a key. When we heal the areas where we're wounded, it becomes a place of greater strength. So here in the middle decan of Aries, and each side is broken up into 3 decans, you know, 10 degrees apiece. There's 30 degrees in a sign. So here in the middle degrees, it's working out our healing our relationships with others. In the beginning degrees, it was healing our relationships with ourselves. Now we're moving to healing the woundedness we've experienced from others. And so it's an opportunity to really get some primal healing accomplished here. I like to look at that positively. Let's see, is there anything else? Mars in Libra here at early degrees is working out a lot of how we take action in relationships. Again, how we take action towards fairness and justice and rights. It's our ego and how we relate to others, right? What kind of energy do we put into others? All right, is there anything else I'm feeling guided to talk about right now for this upcoming week? Libra energy is going to be lovely, but when the sun goes into Libra at 0 degrees, it can feel wonky. It can feel like, so we got the full moon, and then we have Saturn is actually going to be trining Black Moon Lilith. I didn't talk about Black Moon Lilith. Black Moon Lilith is right here in Gemini at 7 degrees. This is our deep fears, right? And here in the first decan of Gemini, it's a lot of how we can F up our own life by our mental fears. Like we crawl up in our head, bat things back around and create havoc for ourselves, right? So what are fears? False evidence appearing real, right? So we can have that challenged this week with Saturn trining this. It's an opportunity here. It's already trining it. Saturn's at 7, Black Moon is at 7. So a trine is a positive aspect. It's an opportunity to heal and shift something. So again, our fears when it comes to how we structure our life, our world, who's going to be there for us? Are we going to be there for ourselves? And I feel like, again, in this first decan, it's really healing the mental fears, the fears we have within ourselves that we may not even be aware of. But with the full moon here in Pisces, is an opportunity to get some insight into how we freak ourselves out in our own minds. And then there's a trine here between the North Node and Mars. They're both at 3 degrees here at the full moon. So this is a positive aspect as well. North Node is what we're learning, what we're being taught here. If we listen to our intuition, if we can align our thinking with our intuition, we can take action in ways that are super beneficial. So yeah, that's another thing that's jumping out to me. All right, is there anything else that I see that's jumping out at me? Nope, I think that's enough to share about this upcoming week. All right, I'll stop the sharing. And now we'll move to the cards. And again, I'm going to start with Pisces and go backwards today. Got the moon in Pisces. We'll have the full moon. And so this is, let's see how this full moon this week is going to show up for Pisces. Oops, I got cards flying away. They're excited, all charged up here. I got a brand new deck too, so they're kind of slick. I use the Osho Zen Tarot deck for any of those of you who are interested in what tarot deck I use. I've been using this same deck for about 20 years. When it gets worn out, I usually give it to someone I'm working with, developing their abilities, and I get myself a brand new one. So, all right, Pisces, we have the schizophrenia card. And so it doesn't necessarily mean you're cray-cray or that you've got some mental issues. It can. This card I see is usually feeling torn down the middle, like you've got a decision here, you're feeling pulled, you're not sure which way to go. This card will show up when people are moving, when they're separating, they're going to leave the situation they're in and they go to something new. It'll show up when relationships are ending. It'll show up when you feel torn down the middle. So this often happens when you're up in your head too much, right? So schizophrenia is all about mental energy and batting things about too much in your head. So what's the antidote for that? Dropping into your intuition, right? And so it shows up in different ways for different people. Some people feel it literally like in their heart chakra or in their solar plexus. You may feel it in your third eye, but there's a different energy when information is coming from your brain versus when it's coming through intuition, which when your intuitive voice is guiding you, there's a more loving tone internally. Wouldn't you love to? Wouldn't it be great if? Whereas if it's coming from your logical mind, everything that's been programmed in, it's more, you need to do this, you should do this. And there's a whole different vibe. So you can know if something's coming from your head or your intuition just by stopping to tune in, right? This is where spiritual practices and meditation really can come in. Breathing deeply, just getting out of the brain, getting out of the head, dropping into your physical body, just even focusing on your breath can be extremely helpful in clearing your energy out of your mind, right? So staying up there, batting things back and forth, not knowing how to make the decision or being afraid to make a decision can make you feel crazy. So this week, it feels like it's decision-making time for you, Pisces. And if you listen to your intuition and go with what your gut is guiding you to do, you'll make the right choice for your life. There are no wrong choices. There's just lessons to learn, right? So if you make a wrong choice, you can always change, right? You start going after, well, I think I'm going to do this. First of all, if you're saying, I think, it's coming from your brain, right? I feel guided to do this, or my gut is telling me this, or my intuition is telling me this, is a different guidance system. So it's super critical this week, Pisces, that you listen to your intuition, your heart, your feelings, and not your head, right? So that's the guidance for the Pisces this week. If you drop into your intuition, you can make this critical decision that you're up against in your life, and it can go really wonderfully. Yeah. Okay. It may be a scary decision you're having to make, right? That's maybe why it's like, oh, I don't want to have to do that. You're afraid. The fear's coming up, right? If you're feeling guided to make a big major change in your life, most of the fear can be the unknown. I don't know what it's going to look like on the other side. That can be super scary. Or you're worried about how your actions are going to affect the people around you, right? If it's the right thing for you to do, it's the right thing for everyone else around you, even if they squawk and squeal and complain and say, oh, no, 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 right? When you feel right with you and you make choices based on alignment with your intuition, it's the best thing for everybody in your life. All right. So Aquarius, next. It looks like it's going to be a challenging week. I can tell already by these cards. This is the mind card. This is also, if you listen to the spiel I just had on the Pisces, it's very similar. This is a very self-explanatory card, right? You crawl up in your mind and it can make you crazy. You're trying to figure things out. There's things that are making you angry, all these like smokestacks here going off. You may have said things that you didn't mean, or you may have someone else has said crappy things to you that you're repeating over and over and over again in your head. This is a sign to get out of your head, right? You stay up in that head, you can go cray cray. And again, we've got Mercury in shadow zone right now. And so it's activating our thoughts. It's that activating our minds. So This is so important to do spiritual practices, echoing all the things I said about that in the spiel I gave to the Pisces. So you might want to listen to the Pisces because it's very similar message here for the Aquarians as well. You got to get out of your head. How do you get out of your head? Spiritual practices are the best. But if you have a hard time meditating, chanting, or praying, climb into the tub, take a walk in nature, stare into a fire. What does it for you? Frenetic energy from screens is not the way to do it. Maybe you're getting just too much energy. You're getting overloaded by a lot of information, right? You may be studying. There may be some where you're having to activate your mind a lot. You have to take enough breaks, like take your head off, breathe deeply, and relax. And stay in the moment right now. Like, what today do you feel guided to do, Aquarians? Do you have to figure out the whole big picture right now? No. Do you have to process everything that's happened to you before today, right now? No, right? Bring yourself right now. What do you feel guided to do today, this moment, this week? Stay right here, breathe deeply, tune into your intuition, let that guide you, and not your brain, not your mind, not the programming, not all the talky, right? This may be a week that you just need to unplug from the world, unplug from other people, and get quiet inside. However, art projects, music, creativity, there's lots of ways to quiet the mind, but you guys need that this week, Aquarians. And then you can have a great week. It doesn't have to be this crazy thing all week long. But if you're not conscious of where your attention is, then it can just run you off course big time this week. All right. So don't let it do that for you. Other people can make you crazy this week as well. Step away, step away, step away. Okay. Now, Capricorns. Creativity card is coming up for the Capricorns. So this is, artistic, creative, musical, dancing, cooking, gardening. What do you do that is creative? The moon is highlighted here too. So there can be some downloads coming with the full moon for you guys. There's rainbows showing up. It feels like this could be really good news coming in for Capricorns. You're celebrating, it feels like. You're feeling beautiful and awesome. Things are flowing in your life. There's a light that's shining. You're feeling great. This can be inspired. You could, be painting, doing music. Like I said, all the creative arts. This is tapping into creative writing. This can be just a really awesome week for channeling, having things flow through you, creative ideas, getting things in motion. Yeah. I'm seeing the lotus flower here too. So there's like spiritual awakenings that are happening for some of you Capricorns. I'm seeing sort of this water here. It feels like there may be a trip to water, or just being around water can just, it feels like there's a change of scenery somehow. I'm just seeing different scenes. Looks like there's rolling hills back here, water here. So there's different, it feels like you're changing your scenery, you're going somewhere else. Even if you're doing it in a visualization way, it just feels like you're lifting up out of the mundane reality of day to day. And you're just feeling the inspiration of spirit moving through you this week. There's a really great opportunity to download something new. I'm also seeing the green in her arms. So there may be helping others, healing hands here, or healing yourself, being open to receiving healing, praying for others. Feel strong this week, Capricorns. Yeah, it feels like it's a really good week for you guys. All right. Now Sagittarius is. All right, we have the Beyond Illusion card. This is the third eye opening. This is psychic downloads, intuition, resting in spirit, having activated dreams. It's the butterfly, so it's a transformation week. Getting insights, feeling at peace. I'm feeling there's a whole lot of peace in this card too, but psychic radar could be extra strong, picking up intuitive vibes from other people, especially people in spirit, loved ones maybe that have crossed. You may get feeling like they're communicating to you. You may get some messages from your spirit guides. You may get a strong psychic message from someone you already know you have a psychic connection with. That radar may be extra strong this week. Definitely psychic abilities are activated in a big way, Sagittarius is this week. And it feels like there's an opportunity to download some really wonderful, I'm feeling gifts from spirit is the words I'm hearing, gifts from spirit. So, and butterflies are about transformation. So there's some really beautiful change that's happening. It may be very subtle there, though, maybe really quiet as well. It may just be noticeable to you that you notice the first flutterings of something shifting and changing. It may be the beginning of a transformation. Some of you may have like a huge aha this week or some huge awakening downloads. Others will be more subtle, and it's the beginning, the startings of this transformation, the startings of growth psychically, spiritually. Yeah. Take a swig of water here. And we'll move on to the Scorpios. The change card. Change. Things are shifting, right? Change starts from within. It starts in the middle and affects a change externally. So this is about, see that yin yang sign in the very beginning? It's really about reconciling the darkness and the light within, right? We all have the dark, we all have the light, we all have negative qualities, we all have positive qualities. It's like being okay with all of it, with all the junk within yourself. It's okay, right? You're a work in progress. We're all works in progress. We're all working on ourselves. Well, not everybody. Those of you that are listening to this, though, chances are you're working on yourself. But there's beautiful, the winds of change are happening. So you may have a job change. You may be beginning to start thinking of one, or you may actually have it. You may be moving. People around you may be changing or moving. There's definitely, and it feels very positive. And I also feel like you're gathering up steam to make a big move. And there's some global energy. So there can be a lot of changes in loved ones. If you have loved ones around the world and other places on the planet, they also may be changing. You may be changing location, changing jobs, changing your house. You may be rearranging things in your house. But you're getting a vision first, is what I'm getting. You're getting a confirmation within, and then the change is happening. So this is super positive, super neat week. However you start off this week, the end's going to be completely different. That's what I know. Yeah, downloads from spirit are also in this card. Intuition being strong, working with others, connecting with others to affect a change as well. It may be something you can't do just by yourself, that you need others, in which case those people that are part of the change are going to be coming in or showing themselves. If you know you need someone else to help you with something, I feel like the right people are going to be shown to you this week. Yeah. Okay, Libras. The going with the flow card. Feeling things out. The sun's going to be moving into your sign this week. This is a good time. Things are easy. If you allow spirit to guide you, allow your intuition to guide you, there can be an ease, a flow, just feeling like you're being carried along by spirit and not having to work so hard, like you're getting the help, you're getting things that are coming together. It's just flowing so well for you. Also, flow is about water, right? You may decide you want to go swimming, go somewhere near water, drinking more water. Water is definitely healing. And there's an emphasis on it this week. There also can be flow in air, right? So getting up from in a higher perspective, I'm feeling like this is symbolic, although it could be literal. There may be somebody that are like literally going to higher altitudes or, you know, seeing things from a higher vantage point as well. I'm getting being just in rhythm, just feeling like that you don't have to do it alone, that you have spirit is carrying you. So this is a really beautiful energy. It feels like an easy week for the Libras. If you let go of struggle, right? And just allow yourself to be guided on a daily basis. And this should be a lovely week of having things just really come together. So very cool. All righty. Virgos, you're next. The healing card is coming up for the Virgos. This is mind, body, and spirit. You may be helping others heal. You may be praying for others that need healing. You may be receiving healing hands on you. This may be the week to go get a massage, go get acupuncture, go see the doctor. I'm also feeling this like heart energy, lungs. There's somebody may be having heart someone you love may be having something to do with the heart. This may be quite literal, like a heart surgery or heart attack might happen. There's emphasis on healing. So it's a positive. If that happens, it feels like they're in the right hands or they get in the right hands quickly. There's also this lotus flower in the middle here. So there's a new spiritual opening. And this is just like trusting in spirit as well. And there's like hidden jewels. Like I'm just seeing these things here as hidden jewels. Like there's like, even if you're sick yourself, there's some benefits that's coming to this. If you've got a loved one that's sick, there's some benefits like angels that are around. There's lessons to be learned. This is all happening for a reason. But it definitely feels like the emphasis is on your health and healing. You may need to make changes in your diet, what you're eating, what you're drinking. Those, you may need to be really focused on that. I'm also seeing healing over the head here. It's like healing the thoughts, the cray mind, just allowing yourself to turn over your mind to spirit, listening instead of talking. I'm really seeing the ear here emphasized. So maybe listening or what you hear from others could be super healing this week. There's also the hands on the stomach. So there also be some of you that are dealing with stomach issues, intestinal, or you may be feeling just emotionally kind of gutted. There's healing that can come in, divine healing. These are like large hands, right? These are larger than the hands on this person, right? So this is divine hands coming in to heal and be moving through literally someone else's hands. You may be doing hands-on thing. You may be feeling that you need to put your hands on others this week, Virgos. But it's all about healing this week for the Virgos. All righty, Leos. The slowing down card. All right, change of pace this week, Leos. Things are shifting, things are changing. It's okay to proceed with caution. It's okay to slow things down. Maybe it's not happening as quickly as you like. But if there's forward motion at all, there's progress. Give yourself props for just taking even a tiny baby step towards your dreams, towards your goals. Like step, like this turtle is headed to this rainbow. There's like better days ahead. There's gifts of spirit coming. It's coming out from the weeds and moving into the open, bringing things out of the shadows and into the open. You may have conversations that you're having to bring things, like things you've been hiding or keeping to yourself. That turtle likes to crawl in the shell, right? He's out. Like, okay, I want to talk about this. You may be heading into conversations slowly, into planning changes you're going to be making, whatever. The pace just seems slower than your natural pace this week. You may be frustrated with things that don't come together. Breathe deeply. Again, positive, persistent action and energy towards your goals will get you there eventually, right? Do you have a clear goal in mind, Leos? Yeah, just head towards it. What today can I do towards my goals, right? That's the daily mantra. And it's okay to do it slowly. It doesn't have to be quick. Things don't have to come together, snap, 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 right? So proceed with caution this week. Okay, Cancers. The awareness card. This is getting some of the ahas you've been needing, right? This is when you're like, I don't know, I don't know, I don't know. And then you see, you're like, okay, I see. I get it. This is spiritual revelations. This is spiritual downloads. It's seeing beyond the shadow, stepping out of the shadows for some of you, letting yourself be seen. There's an emphasis on seeing the beauty within too, like having a different perspective on yourself, and for yourself, and not allowing yourself to be overshadowed by someone else. There's that energy going on, Cancers. Like, where's your light? Cancers have a tendency to focus on others. Are you focusing enough on your own needs? You deserve limelight, right? You deserve positive energy. You deserve people that are going to be there for you. I feel like you're stepping away from old patterns this week too. There may be like shedding of a skin or saying no to something. And it feels like something that's been clouding yourself or draping yourself. So it could even be an addiction thing where you're like, enough, I'm putting this down, whatever this is. There's a breakthrough this week, and an awareness in consciousness, like downloads, like clear thinking, clear downloads, clarity, having a clear sense of your direction this week with Cancers. All righty. Geminis. Geminis often can feel really jacked around with Mercury in its shadow going retrograde. So it can bring out the Jekyll Hyde in you. You know, you guys are the twins. So breathe, go to meditation, get out of that head. The success card is coming up for Geminis, though. So there's some really good news. This tiger is on the globe, so there can be some international travel or connection with someone that's somewhere else on the planet. They're going to be making plans to go travel somewhere else on the planet. It is good news. Hallelujah. Yeehaw. Right? See all the celebration here. It can be taming the tiger within you too. Is like, okay, I finally got it all in rhythm, right? I know how to make my life work. Like I said, good news, success at what you're doing. This is a very positive card. Looks like it's a very positive week for the Geminis. Again, don't let, even here though, I'm seeing the dark side and the yellow side. So it's like all what you focus on. You can focus on the good in your life and realize there's lots of things to have gratitude for. If you focus on the dark, the negative, you can bring yourself into that darkness, but it's not necessary. This week there's plenty to shout hooray about, you know, a culmination, a graduation, finishing something you've been working hard at is what it feels like. Geminis is like, or getting relief from something's finally over. So looks like a good week for the Geminis. Okay, we have Tauruses next. Okay, you guys have the mind card too. This can be someone in your life making you feel cray-cray. It can mean your own thoughts. It can playing over things from the past over and over and over again, or worrying about what's coming ahead in the future, right? This is the card. See all these smokestacks going off. Someone could be making you angry, pissing you off, not being able to see clearly. Not feeling grounded. Like, you guys are earth lovers, right? You earth signs, and so if you're not grounded, you could just feel super wiggy. um for the weirdest thing, this feels like flooring here, so I don't know if there's some Tauruses that are literally focusing on your floors, even like cleaning up things off your floor. Someone maybe laying down new flooring or tile or something in, I don't know, I get the weirdest things sometimes. But the antidote for this, I mean, this card speaks for itself. You crawl up in your head and you can make yourself look like this, right? What's the antidote to this? Dropping into your heart, dropping into your intuition, doing breath work, going swimming, going for a run, going for a walk, chop wood, carry water, right? Grounding, anything that grounds you guys are going to get you out of your head. But somebody may just somebody may be like making you go, what? You may need to back up and get away from someone else that's making you crazy, right? Or decide, I don't need that person in my life, right? So there can be coming up to a conclusion that you're needing to draw this week where you're like, oh my goodness, what's the answer? The answer is not trying to bat it around and figure it out. The answer is dropping into your heart, dropping into your intuition, dropping into your breath, and receiving the direction, right? So if you're having trouble getting clear, you're probably efforting too much, right? People try to figure it out, figure it out, figure it out. If you're up in your head trying to figure it out, often the answer is to stop trying to figure it out. Ask the universe to guide you. Show me very loud and clear. Stop thinking about it. Redirect your mind to something else, and then the answers can come. Okay. And last but not least, we have the Aries. Change cards coming for the Aries. This is good change on the horizon. Movement starts from within, right? There's a steady energy, a pulsing. The yin yang here is in the middle. So there's a spiritual coming together, the darkness and the light within, realizing that we all have darkness, we all have light, but there's some beneficial shifting, beneficial changing that's on the horizon. You may feel the change this week. You may just sense it beginning this week, but there's some lovely change happening for the Aries. This is a good season, right? So we're moving into Libra this week, which is the opposite of your sign. So you may be feeling this opposition in your life. The tension may be calling you to make some changes, particularly in relationships. I'm getting that Aries could be changing up their relationships big time this week. You can have new people coming in, people leaving. All is well, though. I'm really getting that all is going to be well in the middle of a positive change cycle. And it may be that you're able to change something that you've been struggling with for a while. And this week you're able to initiate or affect a change in a way. And it feels like it starts with spiritual practices, or getting the insight, getting the realization, getting some sort of download or information from someone or something else that allows you to have your own intuition confirmed. I'm getting there's a confirmation of your own intuition this week, Aries. So It's a positive week for positive change. And that's what I get for all 12 signs. So thank you for your long attention. If you watched this whole thing, I appreciate you all very much. Peace.